you were expecting, like us, for Petra to be loads of red rock, red sand rock, it's not like that at all. This right here is actually the reason why Petra is a Seven Wonders World. Not the Treasury, but this building just here. So we've just got into our final hotel in Petra, and how gorgeous is this? I've never had anything like this in a hotel with like roses and swans. This is totally unexpected and so sweet. Look at that. That is gorgeous. We didn't put anything on our booking that we were like having an anniversary or anything, so it was just purely just out of the kindness of their hearts. So thank you so much, Petra Moon Hotel. While I'm here, I might as well give you a small little room tour. It's just looking like this. Clean, simple, basic. We're in here, and we've got the bathroom. Nobody needs to see me right now, but got a mirror here. Shower is in here, looking like this. Got some towels. This is really cute too. I thought they've done a little flower. I thought that's so sweet. So I've got that, and then obviously in toilets and that kind of stuff there. And here is our view. So literally just here is the entrance to Petra. So like a 1 minute walk. That's the entrance. And then you've got all the, I mean, there's this thing on the wall, but God, that's really weird. But yeah, you can see all the kind of mountains. It's great. It's, you know, it's perfect. Exactly what we need. And yeah, we're happy with it. We just need somewhere to rest and for this last little leg. But it's kind of giving me like a travel lodge kind of vibes. Premier Inn is just exactly what we needed. And actually this is one of the top ones in Petra. There wasn't a huge amount of option. It was this one and one other that were most highly rated in terms of the location that we wanted. So yeah, we couldn't ask for more. This is a rural area. People live here. This is like a little kind of rural village, and you know, it's not up and coming modern or anything like that. So we're really happy with it. It's not the fanciest hotel, but perfect. Honestly, really happy. So yeah, we're gonna just rest now and yeah, have a lie down. It's gonna be time for chilling, and then adventures start tomorrow. So check in with you in a bit. Absolutely. Yes. Oh, thank you. So we are at the ticket entrance for Petra. It's so quiet, honestly. Sadly, because of the war, people are obviously afraid to come to Jordan because of how close it seems on the maps, but it is so quiet, which is great for us because we essentially have it to ourselves, and no one likes to feel like a tourist or be in big crowds. But we are at the ticket entrance, and I'm not actually too sure how much it is. I think it's 50 Jordan dollars, or whatever they call it, dinar. We'll be getting that now, and we have a lovely tour for 2.5 hours, which I mentioned earlier, with a guide called Abdullah. His English is fantastic, very young guy, and he's going to give us some context and history about Petra. So we have our tickets. This is what they look like, and yeah, it was 50 each, so pretty pricey, but it is a full day, and it is one of the 7 wonders of the world. So let's go. We are just walking in to the official entrance of Petra. This would have been the official entrance back in the day, where officials would have walked in by foot, and any animals or any other people, if they had any caravans or things like that, they would have done another entrance. So we're walking in. It's very peaceful, which does make me sad because it means that the tourism isn't as it was. But absolutely beautiful. It does almost feel, again, like another planet in a way. The rocks, the way they're formed, seems almost like the moon or something like that. So yeah. This is the first tomb we're seeing. That is where they would be able to celebrate with their families. This is where the body would be buried. Very interesting. So here the guide was saying there was like a bridge. If you can see this, there was a bridge and a grand door. And this would have been the final checkpoint for the people before they entered into the city. We're going to go into the cannon just here. Amazing. Here they have a channel which would have had water flowing all the way down here. And this was for agricultural use. And they have a special something in the rock here that prevents it from contamination and erosion. Very, very clever. There was a water channel here which would have been for fresh water, but part of it has been destroyed. What our guide has also been telling us is that there's so much of Petra that is yet to be discovered, but UNESCO aren't doing anything to actually look into the lost city. Essentially, they're not putting any money towards it, they're just putting their name on it. Oh my god, fly. Putting their name on it and taking credit for it. And obviously Jordan doesn't have the economy and to look into it. Oh my god, flies. They don't have the economy to look into it, and they also don't have enough people, they don't have enough brain power of people who know about these lost people. I forget the name. To actually understand what it means and what's kind of been going on. So a lot of the tour is based on theories and based on theories that people have. What people have, theories that people have on the ancient city. So.
Scene 98.
There she is. Wow. That is unbelievable. What? Wow. So where I am right now would have been the city centre, our guide was saying. Huge big temples, lots of tombs here, and as you can see, very big pillars here. Yeah, really fascinating. I was gonna mention what I learned, but honestly but yeah, this would have been the city centre. So the tombs would have been recycled by each family. So each family would have had a tomb, and they didn't do mummification. So They would wait till the body decomposed and then take what was left, burn it, and then there was an area at the bottom of the tomb where essentially it would be like you would visit the graves, you'd be able to talk to them. They believe in reincarnation, so you'd be able to talk to them, visit them, celebrate with them, and then actually where their body would have been put at the time of death would have been above. So there's like a 2-layer to these tombs, and the reason why these tombs have lasted so long versus like homes and things is because they were supposed to last forever. They were supposed to last the test of time, so they were carved into the stone rather than traditional buildings which would have been used from the rock where the tombs are and made into bricks like we would do today. So this right here is actually the reason why Petra is a 7 Wonders of the World, not the Treasury, but this building just here. And our guide was explaining the reason for this is, let me pan the camera around. The reason for this is because in this building right here, it was one of the first, just looking at there's like a small kid who's trying to sell us some bracelets. He must be 7 years old. Amazing salesman. But this was the first place in the world where they basically had this innovative technology using juniper wood, which is actually the tree that is used to make gin. The beans on that tree are used to make gin, and they used the wood from that tree to put it within the inside of the building, essentially. I'm trying to find the right words here, but to put inside of the building, so that this place is right where tectonic plates are. So there's earthquakes that actually happen every single day that we don't even feel, but it is much more susceptible to earthquakes. And so by putting this wood in here, it would basically be a shock absorber. Sorry, I'm getting really distracted. It would be a shock absorber so that the building would, even though it's a bit crumbled here, the wood would never decay. There's no bacteria that could get in the wood. There's no nothing. The wood would last forever unless it was burnt or, actively destroyed. So by putting the wood in the building, it would basically keep the integrity of the building. And that is why it's a 7 Wonder of the World, because of this building right here. So really, really fascinating things. Our tour actually has just come to an end, and our tour guide was fantastic, Abdullah. He was amazing, and I will link all of his details for you, because I couldn't recommend the tour enough. I think if we hadn't had the tour, which we're not people who typically get tours, we like to just explore on our own, see the little information bits and pieces that are dotted around. But I really would recommend a tour here, because I think if you don't have the tour, even going through the canyons, there's so much that we would have just walked past and gone, oh, that's cool, but not actually known the significance of what we're looking at or walking through, and understanding the history, being pointed out particular elements even as we were walking throughout Petra here was so insightful, so interesting, and really brought it to life, and really you felt the weight of the history and what you were seeing. Without that, I think there are some parts of it that can just seem like a canyon. It can just seem like rubble. There's lots of bricks and things here that you can see, which is where people would have lived. There have been lots of homes here, and not knowing that, you wouldn't really know what it was. Seeing the monastery would have been the highlight, and dare I say it, potentially you would have looked around and gone, oh, what is this? It almost looks like Roman, like Roman Greek ruins. So would definitely recommend. He's actively worked with National Geographic, and he's working with the royal family here, I believe he was explaining to us. So definitely get him. His English was impeccable, really, really friendly, extremely knowledgeable. And yeah, we just did a 2.5-hour guide. You can do longer with him. I believe he offers like a 5-hour where he can take you to other places, but for us that was just enough. And honestly, I feel like we really got the core of all of the main sites and all of the key information within that. So definitely recommend. Okay, so this is the map of Petra. So you would have seen we started here, we walked all the way through the canyons here, all the way through, we saw the theatre. This is the Treasury, the iconic point here. Theatre, we've gone all around here, the street, the Great Temple, and we are right here. So we're right in the centre, right where people would have lived. And then there is the option to go up here to another monastery, which is very similar to this Treasury, but looks like it takes quite a while. So we're just deciding whether or not we are going to go. And I think there is much more here. People say that, let me turn to face me a second. People do say when I was researching that, you know, you need like a full day here, maybe even 2. There's so much to see. You won't be able to see anything, but I mean, you just saw that we've done that whole thing. It's what, 10:30 now? We started at just after 8 o'clock. So we've done that in 2.5 hours with a guide who've been stopping. We've been getting all the information. Obviously, there's that monastery area that we haven't gone to yet, which we are deciding. But I don't know if you would need 2 days. I think we've done this really in a morning. I don't think it would take us even later on this evening, depending on what we decide to do now. If we decided to go back, it would take us another 2.5 hours. So, you know, 6 hours, 7 hours, something like this. Then that's enough. So, yeah, 2 days, don't worry about that. If you have just 1 full day here and you can get up in the morning, even if you decided to do a tour and leave in the evening, I think you'll have plenty of time to see everything that you need to say that you went and visited Petra. So this is what became a media centre in the end. People would spread propaganda. Originally it was built by the king for his daughter, who killed the love of her life essentially, and built for her to essentially just cry. You can see here there was white marble, and that was imported from Turkey, and so the whole thing would have looked like white marble. It would have been very grand. And this again is what I was referring to earlier about being the 7th wonder of the world. This building right here, which you would never guess, because it's not even that pretty to look at. It's not, you know, there's a lot of rubble, there's a lot of bricks, and actually I would say a lot of Petra is actually quite like this. Other than the canyons when you come in and the monastery, that is the best bit. Other than that, it kind of does remind me of kind of like Greek ruins that you could see in different places in Europe. So yeah, just reflecting. I think I was mentioning this earlier, but honestly, I always want to be completely honest about the places that I visit, because I do feel like, especially within like travel, people who go away, obviously Instagram and things like that, you can really get an idea of something from just a single picture. And people obviously want their pictures to look the best and them to look like they had the best time. And I firstly just want to say we're having the best time, truly, absolutely. But I honestly, in my opinion, feel like I expected to be much more blown away by Petra. I expected everything I saw to be like this red, a bit like the Treasury, the main iconic picture, the main Instagram picture, if you will. And yeah, it's just not really like that it really is the picture, because that's the really only bit that is truly red and a standout on its own. As you can see, lots of ruins from old buildings, and the carvings in the wall that are similar to the monastery, but would have been used for tombs or places of worship and things like this. This was actually a Christian town, so after the kind of pagan ways were changed by the Romans. It became a Christian place where people lived. And yeah, it does kind of remind me of something you could find in Europe, these kind of bits. But I will say that the entrance point coming in from the entrance point, the canyons there truly were, even if it was just for the canyons, are breathtaking enough. That I was in awe of. That really felt otherworldly. It felt like you were on a different planet. And I think, yeah, this is like a way better version of the Grand Canyon, because the Grand Canyon is just a canyon, whereas this has the Grand Canyon in terms of it being a canyon and being red and the different colors and everything like that. But people actually lived here. There was an actual civilization that lived here, which is far more impressive than just the rocks themselves, because you get the best of both worlds. And these rocks, our guide was saying, these cannon rocks have literally been here from the dawn of time. These weren't just kind of created through sandstone or anything. These were here from the dawn of time. So to kind of be next to rocks and boulders that have really seen life, let's just say, it is really, really something. And I must say, being in Jordan, I am appreciating the slight temperature drop. I did miss, it was cold. It's colder in the mornings, and I have been missing it. I always say, as soon as it started to get a bit cooler, when we were in Amman, I was like, God, never ever complain about the heat. Not that I feel like we really have, because the heat really wasn't bad at all in Egypt, other than a few days, and even then we weren't complaining about it at all. But even now, it's like a pleasant warm. It's definitely hot out there, but it's not hot, you know. This time in Egypt, if you were walking around, we would have been absolutely melting in sweat. It would have been red hot, where there's a slight breeze in the air. Actually, it's like a very warm British day, I would say. It's like mid-20s, I think, which feels a lot more pleasant to walk around these kind of areas. So, but yeah, overall, so happy that we came here. Of course, I would recommend it to come to I'd recommend for everyone to come. But yeah, not as impressed as I thought. It really is just that entrance point up until the Treasury that I was impressed with. From that point on, it's cool, it was great, interesting, definitely very fascinated that people actually carved these things. But was I wowed? No, especially not when you consider everything that we saw in Egypt and all the other places that we've seen, even coming from Wadi Rum. So yeah, just bear that in mind if you're coming. Don't expect it all to be red and grand, because it's not. So we've decided to take the stairs up the mountain area that I would have shown you, and get up and personal with these, I believe, these were tombs. So similar kind of style to the monastery, the iconic area. And this is what they look like. But if I'm honestly, these mountains here blow me away more, just because of the sheer scale and detail of them. I just think they are absolutely incredible. Like, we're really in a canyon. Oh, it's so annoying. You're trying to just enjoy yourself, and I get it, they've got to make their living and stuff, but it's a little bit annoying. It's kind of like, please, can I just have some peace? Can I just, enjoy? Can we just have a conversation without you? And they'll just stand there. They'll literally just stand there. So you're trying to talk or vlog or take pictures, and they'll just stand there until you leave, which it's very annoying. But oh gosh, I'll show you here. We are at the top of the mountain in one of the, I can't remember if this was a tomb or a church. There's so many that look like this, but yeah, look at that. Still amazing. The colours are what is blowing me away, that marbly natural effect. And then my favourite, look at that view. Wow, absolutely incredible. So I'm inside, and look, it's absolutely massive. I do assume that this was the church, but Look at that like marble effect. This is all natural, just some oxidization of the different minerals in the sandstone. So absolutely amazing. You definitely see it in the monastery, and that's like where they didn't have scaffolding back in the day, so they would have climbed to, you know, retouch things up, and they would have had the odd rope, but yeah. So this is where the what's the word? You know, stadium is. I know what the word is, but I'm trying to look cool. But here is where they would have shows, entertainment, but also it was a big place where they had democracy. So a bit like, you know, the House of Commons, this is where a select group of people, the high class, would debate on issues about the city. And this would have fit about 3,000 people at a stretch in this Colosseum. And what's different that our guide was telling us in comparison to Greek Colosseums, that's the word, I found the word, it just came naturally. In comparison to Greek Colosseums that are built, this one was just etched into the stone, which makes it even more unique. And above there used to be tombs, but they found that this was more important for the society, and so they covered the tomb, made tombs elsewhere for the families, and used this as a place for democracy. Well, that is an iconic background. We are back at the monastery, and I'm so glad that we took pictures earlier because it is very touristy now, and this is, to be honest, this is still like pretty quiet considering what it could be. It is so quiet. It's only now, literally, it feels like people are only just starting to flood into this space, and we're on our way back out. So we really did this morning have it all to ourselves. It's been so quiet, but I wanted to give you a bit of context to the monastery. So as I mentioned earlier, this is not what makes Petra iconic. It does in terms of the world of social media, but as we mentioned earlier, it's actually that building made out of the tree that they make gin out of. This is definitely the most breathtaking part of Petra, for good reason as well. I mean, that is incredible, and it was all crafted by hand, and you can see that actually on the sides here. It almost looks like footprints. I don't know if you can see here. I will zoom in for you, but that was used so that they could literally climb up, and they would always carve from the top to the bottom so that they could climb up and carve this into the rock. And as I mentioned earlier, the reason that they carved this in was that it would last for a lifetime. Now, you did used to be able to go inside. Lots of people go, well, why can't we go inside? And it's for good reason. In 2001, there was a big flood. They have lots of floods here in these desert areas, which seems bizarre to even think about. But there basically was a huge flood. Okay, I'm back. I don't know if you can tell the difference in the camera, but I'm on my boyfriend's phone because my storage has run out, which is... I literally just got a new phone for storage, and even 250 megabytes isn't enough for me taking loads of videos and pictures. So anyway, as I was saying, there was a huge flood that happened in 2001, 2002 I believe, and sadly it killed 20 people, and all of this sand that you can see here basically came as a result of it, if I have that correct. So actually back in the day when this was a city, people would have been much lower. So this sand actually is covering what is beneath us, and it's thought that there is supposed to be gold and other precious metals underneath, But yeah, this building behind us would have been far greater. You would have really had to have lifted your head to look at it. I mean, you still have to now, and absolutely gigantic, but it would have been so high, because they believed that essentially the higher your temple, the easier you could talk to your god would be able to hear you a lot better. And you can also see that there are lots of cracks in the building here, which makes it unsafe for people to go inside because of people talking. The vibration of people talking and the humidity would actually weaken the structure, was weakening the structure of the Treasury. So they had to close it for safety reasons. It was actually accessible to the public until 1995, I believe is what our guide said. So amazing. And also down here, let me show you. This will give you context to what I was saying earlier about how there is so much more beneath what we can see. So I'll just show you that now. So you can see underneath here, there's more entrances, lots of rubble here, and that's because, as I mentioned, they would have been standing all the way down there. So this whole building would have gone all the way up like this. And a lot of these statues and things, they've been destroyed because basically, let me switch around the camera. Basically, they've been destroyed because they were pagan gods, and the Christian community basically destroyed them. There's lots of theories around what this building was for. Some people believe that it was a calendar, which our guide was saying is actually a pretty rubbish theory, because why would you have such a big building for it to be a calendar? It was most likely supposed to be for a queen's tomb, like the most amazing tomb that you can have. Obviously, in a lot of these places, the more extravagant your tomb is a testament to how much money and how much power that you had in the community, much like, I guess, today. But what was I saying? Yeah, so it is likely to be a tomb for her. Some people believe it to be a place of worship. But yeah, that's a little bit of a history lesson from what I picked up from our guide. And yeah, as I say, look, you can see all the tourists here now. They're very grateful that we had it all to ourselves. And yeah, I'm gonna soak this in, and we're going to be heading back out. And like I said, this doesn't take 2 full days. We didn't end up going to the monastery just because it was a long walk, and it's very similar to this from what it looked like online, but just a bigger version. So we were more than happy with seeing this. If you do want to go to the monastery, it is a bit of a walk. A lot of people are offering like donkeys and camels and that kind of thing. We didn't really want to do that. So yeah, we'll be just taking it in and walking back out. So we are walking back down through the cannon, which we entered in. And I'm not sure if I mentioned earlier, but there was basically a huge earthquake that happened, which essentially cracked right through the rock and made these cannons where we're walking now. And what's just so fascinating is you can literally see how if you put them back together, they would just fit like a jigsaw puzzle piece. It really is amazing. And the fact that all of this used to be underwater, which I've mentioned before, but the way that the lapping water and the waves have created these amazing shapes and like etched into the stone is just incredible. Like, who needs the Grand Canyon when you have this, when you have, you know, somewhere in the Middle East where people actually lived, and there's also so much history. This for me is absolutely incredible, and you might be able to see it's so much more busy and noisy before. And like I mentioned when we were at the Treasury, I thought the level of quietness this morning was just because of lack of tourism. It's gotten quite busy now. Obviously, it's a Saturday, so Friday and Saturday are the days off in Arab countries rather than Saturday and Sunday like in the UK. And yeah, this being quiet, can't imagine if things weren't going on in the world how busy it would have been. So I feel really lucky that we came at like 8 o'clock when it was quieter and really got to enjoy it. So yeah, absolutely in awe. These incredible, look at that. These incredible, yeah, amazing. The fact that this has been here for millions of years blows my mind, as there's so many things on this trip. So yeah, completely in awe right now. And we've done this in such a great time. Like I said before, such a great time. This has taken us maybe half a day. And one thing to note as well is, I feel like on the pictures, this just shows you Instagram is not real. And people like to, you know, change the saturation and things. And of course, it's fun. It looks good, it looks better, whatever. It's just a picture. But if you were expecting, like us, for Petra to be loads of red rock, red sand rock, it's not like that at all. As you probably would have seen already in the Treasury area, it's like a white, creamy stone. And we thought that even as we got to the Treasury area, that at least that area would be red, but it's not. So expect to see just your standard kind of beige rock, I guess, but with lots of reds and yellows from the oxidization that I mentioned earlier.